to Texans Today, everybody. I'm your host, Jeremy Chuggs, and on today's show, we've got some Texans roster news that I wanted to break down, and then a little fun debate that I had in the office with a couple people. Are the Ravens the biggest threat in the AFC after they just made a pretty big signing on the defensive side of the ball? I'll get into that on the back half of today's show, but we have some Texans trivia for you. I know we got a lot of trivia heads in the chat, so no cheating. I want to know, can you name the top 6 Texans passing TD leaders of all time? And you know what? The first person to comment with the correct 6 in order, I'm going to give you a shout out on my show next week. And you know what? Actually, everybody who gets it correct the first time with all 6, I'm going to give you a shout out. So go in the comment section right now. See if you can name the top 6 Texans passing TD leaders of all time. I see you right there. Don't Google it. Do not Google it. I want you to get in the comment section right now and give me your answers. So the first part of the roster news is Texans look like they have a new long snapper. They didn't sign anybody new, but UDFA Austin Brinkman, who was brought in, was competing. He is going to be getting a contract extension, and looks like he's going to be the guy that is going to replace John Weeks. This coming from Aaron Wilson. The Texans signed former West Virginia standout long snapper Austin Brinkman after the draft to a 3-year contract with $110,000 guaranteed. With the release of Tucker Addington, Brinkman is the only long snapper on the roster. And you're probably wondering, well, why did the Texans have to release Tucker Addington, the other long snapper on the roster? Because they finally made it official, the signing of Damon Arnette. No surprise here, a 1-year vet min deal for Damon Arnette. And then we also had some more updated news where this one's getting a little weird, right? Texans safety Jimmie Ward, he has an amended August 13th court date by Montgomery County Judge Lisa Michok in the felony domestic violence case. It was originally set for July 16th. I think this is some bad news for your Houston Texans because I think the July 16th date gave them a more clear vision of, okay, whatever the ruling is, whatever is laid out in court, whether he's vindicated like his attorneys think he will be, or whether he's found guilty, it'll give the Texans more time to either make a decision on either way, right? Either keep him on the roster or cut him. The August 13th date, that kind of, stretches the timeline a little bit. That's getting into, the preseason training camp dates. So I would say this is the first part of bad news for the Texans in this video, would be the fact that Jimmie Ward's court date moved back a little bit. I don't know the reasoning why, but I saw this and I was like, I don't think that's really great for this Houston Texans team. Something else that I wanted to point out, and I thought this was funny. I saw this on X. CJ Stroud, he was at a Fanatics Fest. The company Fanatics had a bunch of its representatives in the NFL. CJ Stroud, Caleb Williams, Bryce Young among them. They're at an event, and he was doing a panel with Caleb Williams, and he jokingly said, I don't know if Caleb likes my advice. And if you remember from this past year, the Monday Night Football debacle that was the post-game handshake between Stroud and Caleb Williams, where Stroud was trying to tell him advice after the Bears lost the game. And as you see right here, Caleb Williams was having none of it. But I thought it was funny that Stroud was able to kind of laugh that off a little bit. I thought that was kind of a little funny gesture, a little kind of jab back at Caleb Williams going back to earlier this year. Now, coming up next, after the signing of Jaire Alexander, are the Ravens the biggest threat in the AFC? I'm going to be breaking that down in just a moment. But hey, if you want a great deal, if you want maybe the best deal over there on Fanatics, I got it for you right here. Half off this polo right now. If you're trying to go to the golf course, if you're trying to go get some, brews with the boys, this Texans polo, it's the perfect shirt to go out in. All you got to do, go to chatsports.com/Texans polo sale. Like I said, I think it's about half off right now while supplies last. So once they sell out of a large, once they sell out of extra large, they're not making more. So go get them while they're hot. Like I said, this link right here, chatsports.com/Texans polo sale, will be clickable in the comment section and description of today's video if you want to go check it out. Hey, right now it's on sale, so get it while supplies last. And I want to ask y'all this question before I kind of break down, because I do think, maybe hot take meter right here. The the Texans' biggest threat in the AFC is in fact not the Chiefs. I think this next year it'll be the Baltimore Ravens. I think they will be the biggest threat to all teams in the AFC, including the Houston Texans. The Ravens look like they're going to be stacked going into next year, but give me your thoughts down below in the comment section. Give me a yes, give me a no, give me your reasoning. Are the Ravens the biggest threat in the AFC right now? I have 3 reasons why this is the case. Number 1, pretty simple. It's Lamar Jackson. I love C.J. Stroud. He is the franchise. He is our guy. But Lamar Jackson is something special, ladies and gentlemen. This past year, look at these numbers. 66.7 completion percentage, over 4,000 yards passing, 41 touchdowns through the air, 4 interceptions, and almost 1,000 rushing yards. I mean, dude is putting up Madden-style numbers. He's won multiple MVPs for good reason. And, he's just kind of getting past that, kind of like we saw at the beginning of Peyton Manning's career, the playoff hump. Being able to get past, getting it bounced in the divisional round, getting bounced in the AFC Championship. But I do believe the Ravens have a top 3 quarterback in Lamar Jackson, and that's going to help you win games every single year, year in and year out. No matter who's around him, that's going to help you win a lot of games in this league. And it also helps because they have a much improved defense. I mentioned they signed Jaire Alexander to a stupid cheap contract, by the way. He can make up to $6 million. This is for a former All-Pro, somebody who is still, on the right side of 30 right now. Jaire Alexander signing with the Baltimore Ravens to be with his former Louisville guy in Lamar Jackson. He took a pay cut to go play with the Baltimore Ravens as well. And you look at the new, secondary for the Ravens after adding Jaire Alexander. I still think the Texans secondary is better, per se. But this unit is good, right? Marlon Humphrey, the former first-rounder, Nate Wiggins from Clemson, and then you add in Jaire Alexander. They also have Chidobe Awuzie waiting in the wings. I mean, crazy. And then you're like, oh, okay, yeah, it's just the corners. They also have an insane safety room. They have Kyle Hamilton, who's been fantastic, and they drafted Malachi Starks out of Georgia. Many who believe he was the number 1 safety in this year's draft. You go to their linebacking core. They have Roquan Smith, who many, would argue the best, if not one of the best middle linebackers in all of the NFL. Odafe Oweh's played well. Trenton Simpson has been good. Kyle Van Noy, the ageless wonder, has been putting up amazing stats. And they also got a steal in Mike Green, if he's able to figure out his off-the-field stuff, as another pass rusher. And this, defensive line, they run the 3-4 front. This defensive line with Travis Jones, Matabuke, and Broderick Washington, this Ravens defense is freaking legit. I still think the Texans defense is better, but this Ravens defense is something scary. We've seen them. We've played them multiple times. I mean, you just have to go back to last Christmas. That was one of the worst Texans games I've ever seen. The Ravens absolutely handed it to the Houston Texans. And then the last reason why I think the Ravens are the biggest threat, they've got some insane offensive weapons. And talking about ageless wonders, I know he's not, super, super old. And if you want to, with the stats right there, if you want to just do the fit text to box on that so it kind of goes together. Derrick Henry, still freaking dominant, man. He is still dominant. Almost 2,000 yards last year. Almost 2,000 yards. 16 touchdowns on 325 carries. This dude is a bell cow back, and he has been a thorn in the Texans' side since he got drafted to Tennessee, and we thought, oh, maybe, since he's leaving the Titans, we won't really have to deal with them. He stays in the AFC, and he plays for the Baltimore Ravens now. So this is a huge threat in their backfield. Derrick Henry, I would say behind Saquon Barkley, what do you think, Producer Alfred? Maybe the second best running back in the NFL right now?
Oh, that's a tough one. Second best next to Saquon? Yeah, I mean, downhill, you're not stopping Derrick Henry.
I mean, you have Derrick Henry, you have Lamar Jackson, and then a face that's very familiar to Texans fans. They added to the wide receiver room. Zay Flowers had a pretty good year. Rashad Bateman as well. They go ahead and they add DeAndre Hopkins, who I know the lasting memory that's in everybody's mind is DeAndre Hopkins tripping over himself in the Super Bowl for the Kansas City Chiefs. But as a wide receiver 3, I think DeAndre Hopkins, maybe too much here, but I think DeAndre Hopkins might be one of the best wide receiver 3s in the entire NFL. Oh, and you add on top that they have 2 Pro Bowl caliber tight ends in Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely, alongside Charlie Kolar, who's not a bad tight end either. They have a stacked room. Their offensive line's good. For all those reasons, I do believe, maybe hot take, the Ravens are the biggest threat in the AFC. I know the Chiefs made the Super Bowl this past year, and it's the old saying, until the Chiefs proves me otherwise, I'm not betting against the Chiefs. But right now, I am betting against the Chiefs. I would say, if it was up to me, the one team I wouldn't want to face if the Texans made it to an AFC championship game would be the Baltimore Ravens. Because I do think, on paper, the Ravens are the most talented team in the AFC, with the Texans, Bills, Chiefs being, right there, right behind them. But I do worry about the Texans playing the Ravens at some point this year, especially with the addition of Jaire Alexander. Now, I asked you at the top of the show, can you name the top 6 Texans passing TD leaders? Here is that list. If you got it, congratulations. Matt Schaub, Deshaun Watson, David Carr, CJ Stroud, Davis Mills. And I was going to do the top 5, but I had to add my guy in, Sage Rosenfels. Number 6, Sage Rosenfels. Obviously, the parentheses besides them, that's the touchdowns they had with the Houston Texans. So if you got it, pat on the back. I'll give you a shout out on a show next week. Now, that's all I have for you on today's show. Folks, if you want to hit me up on Twitter, continue the conversation, you could do so at Jeremy Chuggs. My DMs are always open. And as I always say, if you made it to the end of the video, we're doing something right. Why don't you go down and hit that subscribe button for free Texans videos all year long.